What's up, guys? This is Jermaine. Welcome back to the 91 Box channel. We're going to talk about a topic in terms of when is the right time to have kids. I've been following Jay Shetty for some time. I don't watch a lot of his content, but I know he's had high profile celebrities on his channel. And then also just people podcasting and other cool people as well. But I wanted to touch on this topic that they're talking about in terms of kids and give my thoughts on it. So before you guys go any further, make sure you like this video, share with people you know, and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. Let's get into the video.
Men born in 2007 are projected to have their first child by age 35 versus 31 for their mothers.
Yes, so true.
And girls born in 2025 may not reach that milestone until age 36. And so it's going up gradually. And so anyone who's feeling alone or anyone who is thinking, oh gosh, like maybe it's just me, the truth is it's not just you, it is the trend. And I think often we don't look at statistics as a way of understanding we're not alone, because the trends show what everyone around you is doing, even if you feel everyone around you is having kids, right? I think a lot of people look around and they go, well, everyone on Instagram has kids and all my friends have kids and everyone does. It's just me. I'm the one who's been left behind. Either I don't have kids or I haven't found my person yet. And the reality is the stats show, no, you're not alone at all. Pretty much everyone around you is getting older, is having kids older, and that's much more normal. And I think when you understand that, it kind of frees you up from some of that pressure. But what's the different kind of pressure that people get from like family, society, friends? Like have you noticed any?
So yeah, I like what he said in terms of looking at the stats. He's looking at it from a different perspective, where instead of having anxiety about all your friends, talking about mainly females, all your friends are having children, but you're not having children. But he's saying the stats show something different, in that person should realize, hey, you're not alone. Like, you're struggling just like other people are struggling. Now, I think that is a good way of seeing it, where you don't let it bog you down so much. But also, I think it's a bad thing as well. I don't know what's going on with the UK. They got from low birth rates, people are not really getting married like that. Then, the Islam problem with a lot of different masjids and stuff popping up. The UK definitely needs to get back to Christ. They definitely need to cling back to Christ. But it's a real thing. God put this design in women to multiply, as well as men, but more so for women. And women have a time clock. It's not a good thing. It's like the delay of having children to when you're older. There's a couple of problems with that. It's not a good thing. We'll get more into it later. Let's continue.
Patterns or differences in what you hear. And I think there's two things that I find really interesting. The first is no one ever asked the question, do you want kids?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that he asked that. I will agree with him on that. I think the older generation, they've made a good amount of mistakes. And one of those mistakes really is really getting curious about the person and really deeply caring about the person you're talking to. With mothers or grandparents, hey, it's not necessarily about me and our family lineage. This is a free will human being. And because I respect your free will, I want to really find out, do you want kids? What's your thoughts on having kids? What are some of your concerns about the way society is? And what are some of your own challenges that you might have thought about in terms of parenthood? A lot of people, like the older generation, they don't think in that way. And if I'm giving some grace, the past generation mindset wasn't that, of let's really see and care about what you think and how you feel. And it's more of, this is a duty, it's only duty, and you need to go reproduce and continue the family line. Versus having a balance of, there's a duty and responsibility to procreate in society, while also, hey, this may not be for you, and I love you enough if you don't do that. I think that needs to happen. So I think Jay Shetty is hitting it on the nail. People should ask. But I think that only really happens if you're in a trusted relationship with somebody. You're not gonna give a complete honest answer to someone you don't trust. If it's an auntie or uncle that has burned you in the past and you don't really want to open up to them, you're probably going to give them a surface level answer or just kind of deflect. So I think certain people can ask that question, but I think as a society we can do it more and be more concerned, focus on the person we're talking to. Let me not put my agenda on it. Let me just really ask them, where are they at with this? And hear what they have to say.
Or you will, maybe from a friend or someone you're very close to, but generally people will skip that question. It's really strange because when you ask the question, when are you having kids? It's an assumption that people want kids, that people can conceive and have kids.
Yeah, that's the hardest.
Which today we'll talk about that. That's a whole nother area. It's quite an insensitive and unthoughtful question. It comes with good intent. People are excited, people are whatever. But if you look at it in reality, it doesn't make sense as a question. It's like saying to someone like, when are you going to start a business? And that person's like, I'm happy in my job. Like, I don't want to start a business. Or like, when are you going to leave your job and find a better job? And it's like, I don't know if I need to leave my job. Like, why are you assuming that? But we assume everyone wants kids, can have kids, and is excited about that.
Okay. I like where he's coming from. I do respect a part of his aspect in terms of, let's not assume. Or, you know what? If you have assumptions, don't bring those up. Ask different questions. If okay, fine. You have assumptions about the person, right? You have assumptions about them wanting to have kids. Maybe you should just find out first. Hey, I've seen you and your boyfriend lately. You guys been hanging out, and I've just been thinking about you a lot. I'm just curious. If you want to answer, you can. If not, you're not. Are you guys looking to have children in the future, or is that something that you're not really interested to? I'm just really curious because you guys look great. It looked like you guys will make a great family. You can approach it in some kind of way, shape, or form. So I hear him on that. The insensitive part, again, I think there is a tactful way of approaching a conversation. You can layer a question by giving your intent. And again, you leave it up to the person. Usually is the woman. They should ask men a bit more as well. Just, and still giving grace and truth at the same time. But I don't think we should run away or hide from a conversation because there may be some insensitivity involved in the conversation. Again, if you ask it in a tactful way and you give your intent, it lowers the blow for it to be insensitive. If the person is just insensitive, like you let them know your intent while you're asking the question and you really just want to get to know and have a conversation about it. If the person at that point gets triggered, it's not really the person asking the question because they let them know their intent. They're not trying to say this to hurt them. They're not trying to use the information to weaponize against them at a later time. They just want to have a conversation with them and build a relationship. and really just find out if they want to have a family. And if the person gets triggered, that's something that's going on with them, and they need to get work done emotionally. We all do. But I was going to say, from what I brought up earlier, this is actually a problem in the modern time in terms of men and women, both men and women, waiting longer to have kids. I've heard people want to get financially ready and probably emotionally ready. They want to be the best versions that they can be to bring in children into the world. I partly disagree. On one hand, I understand the dilemma. I think you need to have some financial stability, probably a decent paying job. I think if you get a job anywhere from 40,000 and up in places, some places in this country, probably more so on the East Coast or West Coast, you're probably gonna have to do 50,000 and up, probably two incomes. If you could get 55 and higher, maybe 60 on one income and live below your means, I would say, for me, if you're asking me what's the best time, I would say from 20 years old to 30. 30 to, if I'm pushing it more, 35, but I think that's the best time range. 20 to 30, maybe up to 35. And the reason why I say that's the best time is, for one, if you're trying to have more than two kids, it's better to start young. For one, you guys have more energy. Your bodies is more capable of bouncing back because you're still young, and that's more so for the woman. This harps a lot more on women. So if women are waiting till 35, 36, 37, you have potential risk for giving birth. Geriatric pregnancies, just more complications, more health risks, longer recovery times, and not everyone is a Beyonce where they can just take off of work for like a year and just get their bodies back. I mean, you're going through hormone changes. You're recovering from either a C-section or you push naturally. So if you're young and you start at 20, and if you have children 2 years apart, let's just say 3 years apart, 20, 23, 26. By 26, you have three kids. And if you want a fourth child, you can do it at 29 or at 30, push it out one more extra year. But you give yourself time to recuperate, because pregnancy is very hard on the woman's body. And then again, you guys are going to lose a lot of sleep during that time. As a father who had his first child at 31, 32, um, yeah, like, I wish I could have started younger, but shoot, there is challenges in my life in terms of having the right partner and also having a stable enough environment, like house-wise. And I don't make a lot of money, but I got like a decent job. I'm doing okay. Another thing I want to add, something I forgot to mention. So this is my addendum. When it comes to having children at a later age, why would you want to have kids later in age? Like, let's just say starting at 40. Don't you want to have a relationship with your child? As they get older, you can go and do things with them. When you start at 40 years old, by the time they're 20, they're just beginning to live life, and you're 60. You're not going to have the energy you would like to have a really great time with your child. Do you want to have a really good relationship with your child, or are you just thinking about legacy building? So I don't recommend having children late, because that hurts the young person. If you do it at 30, by the time they're 20, you're 50, you still got more energy that you would have than if you were 60. So yeah, I think people don't really think a lot about the child. They have, I think they were lied to about what parenthood would look like. It's both the child and the parent. So yeah, having kids at a later age, not good health wise and also relational wise. It's like, why would you want to be raising kids at like 45, like 45, 50? They're like a 10-year old. They're you have to have the energy to keep up with them. Like, why would anybody want to do that? Yeah, that's my thoughts. So I'm not saying finances aren't an issue. Your life situations or like your shelter situation isn't an issue. Things like that. Those things may take time, but generally speaking, if men and women work together under a foundation that births life, like following Christianity, following Jesus Christ, you do better to having children and starting young. It will definitely help if you want to have 2 to 3 kids or more. So yeah, I'm not for people. I thought that was a good thing when I was younger, but looking at how society is going now, I think people need to get back to having kids by 20. Again, if you're asking me, anywhere between 20 to 35. If you do it at 25, you do it at 26, like, then fine. But if you're out there and you want to have kids at like 20 and you're down for it, then do it smart. Get yourself set up so that you can have those children. But those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I will put the full video link in the description box below so you can check it out. And this is Jermaine. I'm signing out. Peace.